Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of Ace Team Sports. It's me, Zack with my panelists Widy and Iain.
Today we're going to be analyzing some football plays. More importantly, the physics behind these plays and how Newton's 3 laws of motion can be used to analyze them.
But first, we need to find out what exactly is a force. To put it simply, a force is just a push or a pull that changes an object's motion. So now we'll cut to our field reporter, Zack, and he will introduce us to the Newton's first law of motion based on the plays he's seen.
Alright, thanks guys. So just now we just saw the Philadelphia Eagles throw a little trick play at the Minnesota Vikings. But within every football play, and in particular this football play, we see a lot of physics that lies beneath it, which makes them the football plays we all know and love. So here we see two instances of Newton's first law being applied. Firstly, when the ball is tossed to Foles, and then when he throws it for the touchdown. Newton's first law states that an object will stay at rest or stay in constant motion unless it is acted on by an external net force. In the context of this play, the ball only descends because of the external net force acting on it, which in this case is the force of gravity, which pulls it down towards the ground. If there was no net force or no gravity, the ball would follow the original path of motion it was set in, which was being thrown upwards, and it would not come down. This is why all quarterbacks in football have to throw upwards rather than throwing straight at a receiver in order to make sure that they can catch the throw. Because of the fact that forces will always change the path of the ball, so players and quarterbacks have to account for that, which, as is evident, Foles does very beautifully here. Back to you, boys.
Wow, that is a great play and a fantastic analysis, Zack.
So we're going to cut to our next field reporter, Iain, and he's going to talk to us about Newton's second law and how that ties into the set of plays that he's seeing right now. Iain, what you got?
Yeah. Thanks, Zach. Here we're taking a look at a play from Denver versus St. Louis. The Broncos quarterback sends a deep ball downfield, but the St. Louis defense absolutely rams his receiver. To understand the physics behind this play, we'll start by taking a look at the receiver. According to Newton's second law of motion, his net force going forwards is equal to his mass times his acceleration. To stop him, the defense needs to exert another force to overpower him and change his direction. Since the net force is equal to mass times acceleration, bigger players have a distinct advantage when tackling and resisting tackles. The defense in this play realizes that his mass and acceleration are roughly equal to that of the receiver, so a tackle from behind would be much harder to execute. Instead, he hits him from the side. Since the receiver isn't accelerating laterally, the defenseman isn't required to exert as much force as he would need to from behind. Back to you guys.
Look at that tackle, that he leveled the man. As soon as you get that physics knowledge on the defense during the game, that's when teams become Super Bowl contenders. I'm telling you, that team's going to be rocking the offseason. Rocking.
I agree with you 100%, Zach. Now we have Widy who will be explaining Newton's third law of motion in terms of catching the football.
Alright, thanks a lot, A-Team. Right now, we're going to showcase a beautiful one-handed catch by Odell Beckham Jr. of the New York Giants. The question we need to ask is, how is he able to make such a mesmerizing catch? Well, that can all be explained by Newton's third law of motion.
Newton's third law states that in every interaction between two objects, there are two forces equal in magnitude and simultaneously acting in opposite directions. When Beckham Jr. catches the football exerts a force on him. In order to bring the ball to rest, the player must exert a force both equal and opposite in direction of the force from the football. This explains why it's easier to catch a ball with less acceleration and mass, because based on Newton's second law, the ball has less net force, therefore the player only needs to exert the same small force to catch the ball. However, if the ball was heavy and fast, like throws in the NFL, players would need to exert a large amount of force to equal the force coming from the football, making it much harder to catch. Newton's third law not only allows you to catch balls, but just being able to touch anything applies the concept of the third law. Back to you, A-Team.
Great catch. Easily one of the top candidates for Catch of the Year.
And that's a wrap for A-Team Sports. Have a great night. That was